Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling? That quiet dread settles in as you realize you have to make that same lonely walk to the bathroom for the second, or maybe even the third time tonight. It's a frustrating cycle, isn't it? For years, we've been told that a tall glass of water before bed is a sign of good health. A responsible choice. But what if I told you that this simple, seemingly harmless act is quietly stealing your restorative sleep night after night? And here's the part that truly worries me. It's putting you at a significant risk for a catastrophic fall in the dark. A fall that could lead to a broken hip, a hospital stay, and a loss of the independence you cherish. But as a doctor who has sat with and listened to seniors for over 30 years, I can tell you the answer isn't just about drinking less water. That's too simple. The real secret, the one that can truly change your nights, is about chewing one tiny, inexpensive spice for just 60 seconds after your evening meal. I'm not just talking about a theory. I'm talking about real people. I'll never forget a patient of mine, a wonderful retired nurse from Florida named Eleanor. She told me, with a deep sense of resignation, that she hadn't slept for more than 2 hours straight in over a decade. When she tried this simple trick, she called my office a week later. Her voice, it was filled with a kind of joy I hadn't heard from her before. She said she finally slept for 5 uninterrupted hours. 5 hours. That is what we're talking about today. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain. We will uncover exactly what this powerful spice is, the simple science behind why it works so effectively, and the precise 60-second ritual that can help give you back your peaceful, uninterrupted nights. And please, I ask that you stick with me until the very end. I'm going to share the 3 most common mistakes people make that completely cancel out the benefits. The third mistake in particular is one I see all the time, and it's absolutely crucial for your safety. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have faced this. If what I just shared feels familiar to you, if you know that feeling of dreading those nighttime trips, please take a moment and comment a simple yes below. It lets me know I'm not alone in seeing this, and more importantly, it shows others in our community that they are not alone either. Okay, let's get started. Alright. Let's start by understanding the root of the problem. Why older adults wake up often at night. So many of my patients come into my office, and they say, "Doctor, I guess this is just part of getting old." They talk about waking up 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a night, and they've resigned themselves to it. They think the only culprits are an aging body or maybe that extra glass of water they had after dinner. And while there's a grain of truth there, it misses the bigger, more important picture. The real reason is a quiet, gradual shift happening inside your body. You see, there's a natural hormone called vasopressin. Think of it as the body's gentle conductor, telling the kidneys, it's nighttime. Slow down urine production so we can get some deep, restorative rest. It's a wonderful system. But as we move past 60, our bodies naturally produce less of this crucial hormone. Without that conductor's signal, the kidneys keep working at almost a daytime pace, filtering fluids and filling the bladder. Now, this is where the core issue related to aging truly comes into play. It's a 2-part problem. Not only are the kidneys producing more urine at night, but the bladder itself has changed. When you were younger, your bladder was like a new, stretchy balloon. It could comfortably hold nearly 16 ounces of fluid before sending an urgent signal to your brain. But over the years, that balloon has lost some of its elasticity. It's become more sensitive. Today, it might only hold 6 or 7 ounces before it starts sending those same urgent signals. That's less than a small glass of water. This leads directly to those all too familiar symptoms. The constant pressure, the feeling that you just went but have to go again, and most importantly, that fragmented, unsatisfying sleep that leaves you feeling foggy and drained the next morning. I had a patient, a lovely gentleman named Robert, a retired mechanic, who told me his mornings felt like trying to start an engine with a dead battery. That feeling of exhaustion, that's the real symptom. This isn't a disease you have to accept. It is a natural change in your body's plumbing and chemistry. And the wonderful news is, once we understand it, we can learn to work with it. The solution isn't about fighting your body, but about making gentle, intelligent adjustments to support it. The hidden spice secret, cardamom. So, if the problem is a combination of hormones and a more sensitive bladder, We need a solution that is gentle, natural, and doesn't involve adding more medications to your daily routine. We need something safe, affordable, and readily available. And that is where we turn to a small but mighty secret that's likely hiding in your kitchen cabinet right now. A spice called cardamom. Here in America, we mostly think of cardamom as something to sprinkle in pumpkin bread or a warm apple pie. It's a comforting, festive flavor. But in other parts of the world, particularly in India, cardamom has been revered for centuries. In the ancient tradition of Ayurveda, it's not just a flavoring. It's a powerful medicine, so respected that it's known as the Queen of Spices. They understood something that we are only now rediscovering. The reason this ancient wisdom is so critical for us today is that cardamom's benefits go far beyond just its taste. Its true power lies in its ability to bring a sense of calm to the systems that cause nighttime restlessness. Think about it. What keeps you up? It's often not just the bladder, but also an unsettled stomach, a mind that won't stop racing with worries, or just a general feeling of tension in the body. Cardamom gently addresses all of these. It helps soothe digestion after your evening meal, which reduces pressure on the bladder. It has properties that help relax the body and quiet the mind. This isn't just a folk tale. I saw this in one of my own patients, a man from Michigan named Arthur, who loved his fall apple pie. He started chewing a single cardamom pod after dinner, thinking nothing of it, and was stunned to find his stomach felt lighter and his sleep deeper. His story is echoed across the world, like that of a retired teacher in Chennai, India, who has chewed 2 pods every evening for years, crediting it with her restful nights. The solution is remarkably simple, yet profound. Instead of that late-night tea that will surely wake you up later, try this simple, ancient practice. It's a small act of self-care that prepares your body for true rest. The science behind cardamom. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Doctor, this all sounds very nice, but how can a tiny little spice really make such a difference? It sounds a bit like a fairy tale. And that's a fair question. As a medical professional, I'm not interested in wishful thinking. I'm interested in what works and why it works. And the truth is, there is some fascinating, simple science packed inside each one of these small green pods. They contain powerful natural compounds, and 2 of the most important are named cineol and terpineol acetate. Now, those are complicated names for a very simple function. They act as gentle, natural relaxants on the body's smooth muscles. And one of the most important smooth muscles, in this case, is the wall of your bladder. When that muscle is tense and twitchy, it sends false signals of urgency to your brain. By helping it relax, cardamom effectively turns down the volume on those signals, allowing your bladder to fill more completely before it wakes you. But the science doesn't stop there. As we age, our nervous system can sometimes get stuck in on mode, especially at night when the distractions of the day fade away. This is where those racing thoughts and quiet worries creep in. The natural oils in cardamom have a mild, calming effect on the nervous system. Think of it like dimming the lights in a room to signal that it's time to wind down. This is the core reason it helps quiet the mind. This connects directly to the symptoms of nighttime anxiety that so many people experience. Then there's the digestive benefit. A heavy meal sitting in your stomach can put physical pressure on your bladder all night. Cardamom's compounds are well known to aid digestion, reduce gas, and prevent bloating. Remember Eleanor, the retired nurse I mentioned earlier? She described the feeling perfectly. She said it felt like it quieted her bladder. And I had another patient, a gentleman in Mumbai, who found that chewing cardamom not only helped him sleep through the night, but the improved digestion gave him so much more energy for his morning walks. This isn't a miracle drug. It is simply a wise, gentle tool that works in harmony with your body's needs, supporting your bladder, your nerves, and your digestion to create the peaceful conditions necessary for a full night's sleep. How to chew cardamom for 60 seconds. Knowing that cardamom holds this gentle power is the first step. But just like any tool, using it correctly is what determines its effectiveness. The small details of how you use it each evening can make all the difference between real success and quiet disappointment. I've seen this firsthand. A patient will tell me they tried it and it didn't work, but when we dig a little deeper, we find they were missing a crucial step. The core reason the method is so important is that you need to give the spice enough time and the right conditions to release its beneficial oils and allow your body to absorb them properly. It's about creating a small, intentional ritual for rest. So here is the simple 3-step process that I've found works best. First, there is the timing. The ideal window is about 30 minutes after you finish your dinner, and about 30 minutes before you plan to go to bed. This gives the cardamom time to begin its work on your digestion without interfering with it, and it allows the calming effects to set in as you prepare for sleep. Second is the method itself. Take 1 or 2 green cardamom pods. Don't just swallow them. Gently crack them open with your teeth. Then, chew slowly. The goal is to release the tiny seeds inside and their warm, slightly sweet oils. As the flavor spreads, breathe calmly. Hold those seeds and oils in your mouth for a full 60 seconds before you swallow. This allows the mucous membranes in your mouth to begin absorbing the compounds directly into your bloodstream, giving them a head start. Third, and this is critical, is the dosage. More is not better. 1 or 2 pods are all you need. Using more can sometimes cause a feeling of warmth in the stomach, which isn't ideal for sleep. I remember a patient, Brenda from Texas, who had almost given up. She was chewing 4 or 5 pods right before lying down and washing them down with water. When we adjusted her routine to just 2 pods, chewed slowly 30 minutes before bed, with no extra water, that's when everything changed for her. Within 10 days, she was sleeping for 4 to 5 hours at a time. So remember those 3 keys: timing, technique, and dosage. If you're finding this step-by-step guide helpful, just comment the word guide below so I know we're on the right track. Common mistakes when using cardamom. Even with the best of intentions, it's easy to make small mistakes that can unintentionally sabotage your efforts. I want to walk you through the 3 most common pitfalls I see so that you can avoid them and give this gentle remedy the best possible chance to work for you. The number 1 mistake by far is chewing the cardamom and then immediately drinking a large glass of water. It feels like a natural thing to do, doesn't it? The spice can make your mouth feel a little dry. But doing this is like taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You've just used the cardamom to help calm your bladder, and then you've immediately handed your bladder a large new workload that will almost certainly wake you up in an hour or 2. It completely cancels out the benefit. If you must take medication or feel you absolutely need a sip of water, make it just that, a few small sips of room temperature water, not a full glass. The second common error is combining cardamom with the wrong kind of evening meal. The spice works best when it has a calm environment to work in. If you chew it after a heavy, salty, or very spicy dinner, like a big plate of fried snacks, pickles, or a spicy chili, you're working against yourself. These foods increase thirst and can irritate the bladder lining, making it more twitchy and sensitive. This inflammation sends your body mixed signals, overriding the calming effect of the cardamom. The final mistake is the one that requires the most patience to overcome, expecting instant, miraculous results. I had a patient, a wonderful woman named Carol in Ohio, who called me after 3 days, completely discouraged. "It's not working," she said. I encouraged her to stick with it just a little longer. The body is not a light switch. You can't just flip it from years of restless nights to perfect sleep overnight. It's more like turning a large ship. It takes time for the bladder and the nervous system to be gently retrained. Sure enough, on the 10th night, Carol realized she had only woken up once. By the end of the 2nd week, she was finally sleeping for 5 hours straight. Her story is a beautiful reminder. Please, be patient with your body. Give this process at least a week, preferably 2, before you decide how it's working for you. Habits that help cardamom work better. Chewing cardamom is a powerful anchor for your evening routine, but you can make it even more effective by pairing it with other supportive habits. Your body is an interconnected system. Think of it like a garden. Planting a good seed, in this case, cardamom, is essential. But that seed will grow so much stronger if you also provide good soil, the right amount of water, and sunlight. These other habits are the soil, water, and sun that will help your new cardamom routine truly flourish. So let's start with the soil, your evening meal. As we just discussed, heavy, salty, or fried foods at night are counterproductive. Instead, opt for a lighter dinner that's easy to digest. Things like steamed vegetables, a small portion of baked fish or chicken, a little rice, or a bowl of lentil soup are excellent choices. These foods nourish your body without putting extra stress on your digestive system or bladder late at night. Next, let's talk about your sleeping position. This is something almost no one thinks about. Lying flat on your back can sometimes increase pressure on the bladder. The best position for many people is lying on their left side. This posture aids digestion and can improve circulation. Placing a small pillow between your knees can also help align your spine and hips, reducing pressure on the lower abdomen and creating a more relaxed state for your internal organs, including your bladder. Then, consider the environment of your bedroom. A room that is too warm or stuffy can cause you to sweat during the night, which increases thirst and can trigger your kidneys to work harder. The ideal temperature for sleep is surprisingly cool, generally between 68 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Wear light, breathable cotton pajamas and ensure there's some gentle air circulation. Finally, think about your mornings. This might seem strange, but a gentle morning habit can have a big impact on your nights. Many older adults experience fluid retention in their legs during the day. When you lie down at night, that fluid gets reabsorbed into your system and sent to the kidneys. A simple 30-minute walk in the morning sunlight helps to circulate that fluid much earlier in the day, so there's less of a backlog for your kidneys to process at night. When you combine these 4 habits, a light meal, a supportive posture, a cool room, and morning movement, you create the perfect environment for Cardamom to do its best work. You're not just hoping for a good night's sleep, you're creating a comprehensive plan for one. Questions answered and safety notes. Whenever I introduce a new natural remedy, even one as gentle as Cardamom, people always have very smart and important questions. It's wise to be curious and cautious about what you put into your body, so I want to take a moment to address the most common concerns I hear. The first question is often about internal heat. In some traditions, spices are seen as warming, and people worry if it could be too much. The truth is, in the small amounts we are discussing, just 1 or 2 pods a night, Cardamom is very gentle. It provides a subtle, calming warmth, not an uncomfortable heat. You would have to consume a very large quantity to experience any kind of stomach irritation. For our purposes, it is perfectly safe and balanced. The next question is a very important one, and it comes from seniors who are managing conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure. They ask, "Is it safe for me?" The research here is very encouraging. Cardamom does not negatively impact blood sugar or blood pressure. In fact, some small studies suggest it may even have a supportive, balancing effect in these areas. However, my advice is always the same. If you are on any prescription medication, it is always best to have a quick chat with your doctor before starting any new routine. Your doctor knows your specific health profile. I remember a retired teacher in New Jersey, Linda, who did just that. She brought it up at her checkup, and her doctor confirmed it was perfectly safe for her to use alongside her blood pressure medication. That conversation gave her complete peace of mind. Finally, people want to know, how soon will I see results? As we discussed with Carol's story, patience is key. This is a gradual process. Most people begin to notice a real, consistent improvement after 7 to 14 days of daily use. It's not a failure if the first few nights feel the same. Your body is learning a new rhythm. So, the key messages are simple. Cardamom is safe when used wisely in moderation. 1 or 2 pods are enough. Be patient. And always feel empowered to speak with your doctor. This gentle spice isn't about overriding your body. It's about giving it back the quiet comfort it deserves. As we come to the close of our time together, I want you to think back for a moment. Think back to Eleanor, the retired nurse from Florida who hadn't slept for more than 2 hours at a time in a decade. Think about Robert, the mechanic who felt his mornings were running on a dead battery. And think of all the others. The people in our stories and the ones in our own lives who know the weary frustration of a broken night's sleep. What they reclaimed with this simple, gentle habit wasn't just sleep. It was so much more than that. It was the energy to enjoy a morning walk with a beloved pet. It was the mental clarity to sit down and truly enjoy the daily crossword puzzle. It was the joy of rejoining their community, of having the stamina to attend a festival or a family gathering without feeling exhausted. They didn't just get back their nights. They reclaimed their mornings. They reclaimed the vibrancy of their days. And that is the quiet but powerful lesson at the heart of our conversation today. Aging brings challenges. Yes, we all know that. It's a journey that requires adjustment and patience. But you are never ever helpless against those challenges. Sometimes, the most profound support, the most powerful healing, doesn't come from a complicated prescription or an expensive procedure. It comes from the simplest, most gentle choices that nature has already placed right within your reach. Choices that are often waiting quietly for you in your own kitchen cabinet. Your health, your peace, and your rest are still very much in your hands. And so, as we wrap up, we know that knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. Now, I have one important question for you. What is the one small commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I promise to try the cardamom ritual tonight. Or maybe, I will move my last glass of water to an earlier time. It doesn't have to be a monumental change. Just one small step. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Let's create a space where we can inspire and encourage each other to take that first important step. And if you found real value and comfort in our time together today, show your support by giving this video a simple like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another conversation full of life-changing wisdom, please hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a warm community of friends, all dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person, just one friend or family member, who you know needs to hear this message. Please, share it with them. You never know. That simple act of sharing might just change their life. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.